Saudis are rivaling the PGA Tour, taking U.S. golfers in a classic game of platform competition. Can the Saudis be successful? You know, there's been a lot of talk about this LIV. So let me preface this. If you are an avid golf fan, and you like this show, then you may want to stop listening to the show because I feel like we've got a lot of golf fans on the show. And so I'm a little bit weary of annoying some of you who are big PGA supporters. Now, here's why. I come at this purely from a kind of, again, a platform perspective on it. But if you think about the way these sports leagues operate, right? They're kind of platforms, right? You have the clubs and the fans. And if you are a player, it's a monopoly, right? There's really only one place that you can go, one league that you can go, one platform monopoly that you can go to play that sport. And, you know, if you get in trouble with the league, or if you have different beliefs with the league, or whatever it is, you have your differences with the league, well, then it's pretty much the league's way or the highway. There used to be two competing leagues with the NFL, and then the NFL has consolidated its power. You know, if you now look at the world of just major league sports, pretty much all of the major league sports today really only have one league. That wasn't always how it was, right? If you look back over the past few decades, I'm not a sports expert, but if you look at different sports, there wasn't always this idea that it was one league and that was it, right? Now that is currently the state of play, except for in golf. And in golf, you now have kind of the Saudis who have bankrolled a competitive golf league called LIV with billions and billions of dollars. And it's got a lot of golf fans grumpy. They've gotten some, whether you like them or not, relatively high profile names. LIV has gotten them to go to this league. Phil Mickelson was one of, the kind of catalyst for this to happen. It's supposed to have like a $200 million deal with LIV. And, the PGA isn't happy about it. What's interesting is in the world of platforms, in the world of monopolies, when you have two competing platform monopolies, that actually does benefit the players. It also can benefit the consumers as well. Generally, more competition is a good thing, not a bad thing. There are a lot of fans that would probably, disagree. They hate the idea that, these traders to the game are going to LIV, and it's become a very contentious topic. But what's interesting to me is to see what happens in the world of golf when now you actually do have two competing platform monopolies, or just two competing platforms. LIV is still a fledgling platform, and we'll see if just tons of money can have them create a viable platform competitor to the platform monopoly that is the PGA. I'll tell you right now, if the Saudis are only in this thing for like 2 or 3 years and they expect to see some kind of critical mass after 2 or 3 years, boy, are they in for a rude awakening. I think this is a 5+ year endeavor, and hopefully they have that long-term timeline if they have any hope of earning their money back. But, what's interesting to see is, well, money was, I think, one of the main reasons, or the main reason why Mickelson and Dustin Johnson and others, you could argue, are kind of past their prime, or maybe not even an argument. Everyone would agree. I don't know. Maybe not Dustin. Whatever. This isn't about the golf players, and I'm not a golf expert. But magically, once LIV was announced, then the PGA started announcing like multiple other PGA tournaments with like $20 million like bonus purses or whatever it is, right? So now the PGA has started to make changes to the league, roll out additional events with additional dollars at stake, right? You're seeing the PGA react in a way which is more beneficial to the players and then scheduling more tournaments, which then helps who? The fans and consumers, right? So you're seeing the PGA respond in a way that makes them, quote unquote, more competitive. Okay, so now this was hilarious. So you had Jay Monahan, who is the commissioner of the PGA, and he says, as I also said to the players yesterday, let me be clear, I am not naive. If this is an arms race, and if the only weapons here are dollar bills, the PGA Tour can't compete. The PGA Tour, an American institution, can't compete with a foreign monarchy, Saudi royals, that is spending billions of dollars in an attempt to buy the game of golf. This is a weak statement. These comments would not have made it into my public conjecture about LIV. I'm going to get to what I would have done in a second. But Monahan had addressed the PGA Tour playing quota in a mandatory meeting ahead of this week's event in Connecticut, in which he revealed a similar 8-event lucrative series to challenge the LIV Golf model, right? So now they're rolling out more events magically. Well, why didn't you do this before, Monahan? Oh, well, we didn't have the money, right? Okay, sure. When platforms compete, it's all out war. It is win at all costs, right? Anyone go see the Uber miniseries, right? It is win at all costs. And for Uber, they'll break the laws, but it's win at all legal costs, let's say, right? What will be interesting to see how aggressive Jay plays this is what are the things that a lot of these players really covet more than money are the majors, right? There are 4 majors. You got the US Open, the British Open, which just played. It was a phenomenal match. The Masters and PGA Championship. So if I am Jay Monahan, what I'm doing right now is trying to figure out how I block out anyone that joins LIV from participating in any and all of those 4 majors. I would be aggressively pursuing that. That you're basically going to be blacklisted from playing in those most coveted tournaments. Obviously, PGA Championship, no LIV player is going to play in. And then the other tournaments, you have to have kind of a world ranking, this point system. So now there's murmurings that the way LIV will get around this is their players could play in like the Asian tournaments and then achieve ranking through, reciprocity with the Asian circuit. And that's how, the Koepka and DeChambeau and Dustin Johnsons of the world could achieve ranking to then be in contention to still play in, let's say, at least 2 or 3 of the 4 majors. If I'm Jay, I'm figuring out a way to block, to cut off all 4 of those majors, like right now. And I'm signaling to the market. I'm talking about how, you guys do this, you're not ever going to play in any major again. Even if that's not a true statement, you got to be aggressively out there saying we're cutting you off. You go to the dark side, right? You're cut off. You can't get back in. Like aggressive. You got to be aggressive. You can't do this like passive aggressive, like, oh, well, it's just about money and we can't compete about money and blah, 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 blah. Wrong tone. This is war. You're at war. And even if you try and go finagle this thing out in Asia, we're going to cut you off there too, right? We'll cut off Asia. Like war, aggressive. I do think it's a very interesting exercise and a very interesting example of platform competition, right? And what strategies are the Saudis using? Basically, monetary subsidies out the wazoo, billions and like potentially infinite money. They're locking in, we'd call this like a double marquee strategy. So in the game of golf, you don't have clubs, right? It's really just kind of players and fans. And so if you treat the players as a producer, double marquee strategy, not only does every additional player you bring, we saw this with Microsoft Mixer bringing Ninja over, the competitor to Twitch, and it didn't work out for Microsoft Mixer. But Microsoft wasn't in it for the long haul. They cut the cord after like 18 months. So you pay a bunch of money to a few leading producers that are going to bring you both audience and help you get more validation and help you get more producers to come. Classic strategy. I think if the Saudis stick it out for like 5 years, they got a shot at actually being a true rival, actually having kind of like a 2-league golf system. That's where this gets interesting with LIV kind of recruiting these high-profile U.S. golfers. Do I think they win? I don't think they do. I just don't know if they really have a 5+ year time horizon, right? I feel like maybe it's not a Microsoft Mixer at 18 months, but if they're thinking 3 years, it's too short. You really got to think long term about this one. And then I think you got a shot. And many billions and billions of dollars in the red until you see something. So I just don't know if they really have that in them. But maybe they do. If they do, then I'm wrong. We'll see. Well, if you like this video, go watch our videos about Microsoft Mixer and Twitch and how that battle played out. Because there's actually a lot of similarities, and I referenced it a little bit in this clip. But go check that one out.